Rough. Is that all you got? It was so worth it.
Week prior to King of Hammers, we were kind of still buttoning the car up and getting the trailer ready, do some little testing tuning. I was sleeping very little that week because it was just getting everything done. Cody,
Cody, you're going to school, right?
No, I'm actually done with school, but I was coming home from work 7 o'clock at night, staying up until about 11 working on the car as well.
Mark, what were you doing?
I unfortunately have been stuck out of town with work. Leaned on these guys quite a bit this prep season. Came to help rebuild the shocks when I was in town for a little bit, but that's been my extent of it this year.
Shocks building is always epic for us because we get really dirty and oily.
It's definitely an event.
And then you get in the truck, you head here on what day?
We left Thursday,
mid-morning.
Yeah.
Anything drastic happen on the way here?
Nice, easy ride.
Lots of fan blade.
Fan blade decided to take a flight off the fan in the radiator in the truck.
Coming right up the Hammer, up to the Johnson Valley.
Yeah.
So we've got to change that this afternoon to go home.
And then you get here, you get your tent, and you get here, you get your tent. Let's pull the car in. What we got?
Okay, so speaking of the tent, this is our first year to have a tent, so we decided to do a 20 by 20. And my wife, who has a dog grooming business that she started 4 or 5 years ago and has been very successful, she stepped up and said, "I will sponsor your tent." So that's why she's on the hood. She got on the hood for KOH, Doggone It, Texas Dog Grooming Shop, Salon. And so she's kind of a quiet backdoor supporter, but of course being her son, that's, but she's the one that took care of her sons. And this tent was a lifesaver. You'll hear later on how we had to change this transmission. 70-mile-an-hour wind outside. It was cold, horrific outside. We had a heater going in here, so this tent saved our life. It was, like Mark would say, it's a game changer.
Cool. And then you get the car out of the trailer. You head out to go shock tune, just test drive and make sure you're happy with the desert. What happens?
So we went out to go run some whoops and see how the car was doing, see if we need to make any changes to the shocks. And we head out there, car's doing fine. And we stopped to turn around and the car wouldn't go back into first gear. So we brought it back and we started messing with it. And then we made the ultimate decision to completely tear the car down and pull the transmission.
And what day was that?
That was
Sunday.
And then we had the transmission back, rebuilt, and had back in the car 30 minutes before qualifying.
On Monday.
Yeah.
We had a rebuilt transmission back in our hands at 1:15. We had to qualify at 4.
Right, and our goal, because we made the Power Hour begin this year, our goal is for our sponsors to be in Power Hour. Whether the car would run with a darn or not, the car was going to be at Power Hour. Whether we had first gear or nothing, it was going to be there at least for Power Hour, because that's part of our payback to our sponsorships, to be on that part of the qualifying is the Power Hour.
Okay. You get the transmission put back together, get everything put back together 30 minutes before qualifying. You go out and qualify. You two talk about the qualifying course, if you had any prep on it, and then tell us how the whole qualifying went.
So we got the transmission in about 30 minutes before qualifying started for us for Power Hour, and we have had 0 seat time in it. No pre-running of the qualifying track. Absolutely nothing.
No shock tuning.
No, nothing. We got it to shift gears, and that's when we decided to go qualify.
And Cody, you were on the computer a little bit.
Yeah.
So you do all the engine tuning, correct?
Yeah, the minimal stuff.
Gotcha. So you get to the start line, and what's the last words you guys say to each other?
I don't even
I don't
remember.
even remember.
I said good luck.
Give her hell and
Do our best.
yeah.
So where'd you end up qualifying, and where'd you end up qualifying at how big of a field?
We ended up qualifying 62nd, if I remember right, out of 120 cars.
Sweet, so mid pack, which is where a lot of people want to be.
Yeah.
So after that, you come back. What happens next after qualifying?
We shook the car down, crawl under it. We dropped the oil pan. We changed all our fluids. We put the Torco race oil in. Changed transmission fluid.
Topped off
The differentials. Changed motor oil. We change motor oil every race. Fresh oil every race. Fresh oil filter. So we just did some preventive stuff, some busy work on the car just to prep it. We changed spark plugs. What else did we do to it? The spark plugs. Check the spark plug boots. Make sure the wires were good. Nothing burnt. In this type of racing, the littlest thing can take you out. The simplest bolt, the simplest screw, a pin, can take you out because these cars get beat up. I mean, man, I'd hate to see, what a person's internals look like bouncing around and this stuff, let alone car parts.
So race day comes around, and you guys start at 62nd. You two talk about the race. Tell us what some of the most. Let's go back with the most epic moments, the scariest moments, the letdowns, the cool things, and everything like that.
I think one of the scarier moments of yesterday's race was when the transmission wasn't shipped out of first and second. Just having that feeling that the transmission that just had been rebuilt is now junk again because something internally failed already.
We pulled into the first pass on pit 1, or no, second pass, and was that 50, 60 miles into the race?
Yeah.
And we went ahead and splashed a 5-gallon can, and that's when he found that we couldn't get into reverse, neutral, first gear, any of it. It was physically jammed into first and second.
And then I get the radio call at pit 2B from them that it won't shift. And the radio interference and everything is so bad, I'm not able to broadcast to them, but I can hear them. And I'm on the radio saying, check the shifter pin, check the linkage pin. He can't hear me saying that, but they're telling me what's going on, so that was rough. I was at pit 2, or 2A, I guess, or 2B, 2A. So I'm stuck there, and I can't help them. So that makes even more difficult for us.
Right. I mainly just use this for the mic, by the way. So you're sitting in pit 1, the main pit, and
So we make the decision to leave pit 1 with only those 2 gears.
And what I heard was we're going to limp it in.
We're gonna do what we can to get it there, and that's all I can keep telling Cody. Don't get in a position where we got to back up.
Yeah.
If we got to back up, we're pretty much out of luck. He did a good job, man. He got into those rocks, crawled around, made passes on people, up and down, in and out. And we scooted back in here to the tribe pit, and Ryan, Lance, and all of his guys with Adam and Matt, they all got up underneath the car, started helping. We dropped all the pans that we needed to. And I believe the guy's car number was 4669. I never got his name. Thank you very much.
Little guy.
He was kind of a small guy, but he dove right in there, head underneath the dash, upside down, started working on doing whatever he could to help us get back in the race.
Dawson's dad. Abe said camped right next to him.
Okay.
Because I was running camper last night and said, I'll cut what I'm telling you out
Yeah.
right now. But anyway, okay, so go from there.
Well, they got that fixed, and then me not knowing it, then I get a text from Grandma back in Texas. Cody's left the pit, car's fixed, headed back out. So, I mean, what better news can you get? And then Dave's Off-Road, our sponsor, even then texted us and said, hey, the guys are fixed. They're on thing. Thank you for the TV spot, because Miles actually came up and interviewed Cody. And Dave's Off-Road got a nice little shot on screen of his stuff. So he was happy with that.
Cool. And then you guys hauled ass back in the desert for lap 2.
Yep.
And
With a
Never looked
blown
back.
shock. That was all the only problem we had was a blown shock. Driver rear. And every time we hit a bounce, every time we hit a whoop, it would scoot the butt end around. And he drove as fast as he could with it, kept the car on its wheels. Can't ask for anything better than that.
so, coming down, after you got out of Spooners, the only obstacle you had in between the finish line and Spooners was the back door. What were you telling Cody?
So funny thing about that, we come out of Spooners, all we've got left is back door and Resolution. We hit the bottom coming out of Spooners, hit some desert, and he puts his hand up, and I said, not yet, and I put it back down. We got in there, and I told him as soon as we got in the back door, I said, I don't care how hard this thing hurts, make sure it doesn't go on its lid. Just keep it on the wheels, and we're there. And he did. He had a smooth run through back door. I mean, not even a stop. We didn't even slow down.
Not a bounce.
Just boom, boom, boom. We're in and out. Smooth as you could be. We hit the bottom, and that's when I started hitting him in the head. Bam, bam, bam. We're there. We're there.
Oh, cool. So, you finished KOH for the first time ever for you guys.
Ever. 4 years.
4 years. And I made a joke to you. I said the only reason you hadn't finished KOH because you had to have a beer crossing that
The
stage.
legal age.
What was going through your head when you passed that? When you hit that checkered flag, turned around, and you ended up meeting the media that wanted to interview you? What was your thought? What was going through your thought process?
Sheer excitement.
Yeah.
One of the opportunities that not a lot of people get to have finishing a race like this.
Cool. And what was going through your head, Mark?
Everybody that has helped support us to get to here. My wife Amanda, mom and dad, his Anthony and Jan, and
Our family.
all of his family, everybody that's helped us support us. All of our sponsors. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, we got one guy that's actually not here. Grandpa, my dad Terry. He helps with the driving a lot of times on long trips. And he just kind of hangs out, helps where he can with tires. He's by trade a master aircraft welder. Man's a phenomenal welder, and he helps with that sometimes. He does stuff, and at 76 or so years old, he's still pretty active. He gets out here, he'll change a tire, spin the lug nuts off. But he's not here. He made the choice not to come this year because it is a pretty hectic race. So the option to stay home and watch it on TV. So, but
Cool. Well, other than that, talk about who you want to thank that maybe aren't sponsors. Who would you like? Mom, dad, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think we've already kind of covered all that.
let's just talk about where maybe we want to go in the future.
Yeah, what's your future plan? That's a good idea.
I mean, our future plan is to step up next year. There's a couple of things we want to, we need definitely more power under the hood. Like the Sand Hill is a big obstacle for us. We just don't have. We basically have just a mildly built stock LS1 motor. I mean, we want to go to 416 or 408 stroker. And that takes money. So it's things that we have to plan for and work. Upgrade our transmission maybe to a race case type. Rear sheet metal axle. We want to upgrade that at some point. So it's just things that, and then keep racing. I know Cody has mentioned to me several times, maybe we want to try some desert racing, maybe a small Baja race, or we're looking at maybe some of that stuff in the future. Not just Ultra 4, but expand our racing